Good evening and welcome to our continuing coverage of one of the most surprising cultural stories in American sports this year. The National Football League, the most powerful sports organization in the United States, is crossing another continental boundary. Its first-ever regular season game in Madrid, Spain will not only test how far American football can travel, it will also showcase how deeply U.S. culture has learned to communicate through music, entertainment, and identity. The announcement alone sparked headlines across sports networks, political programs, and entertainment pages. The reason? The NFL chose two Latin music heavyweights, Daddy Yankee and Bizarrap, to perform the halftime show. For many, that choice seemed unconventional. For analysts, it was a calculated step in a long-term strategy that goes beyond touchdowns and tackles. This is more than a halftime show. It's a diplomatic and economic statement wrapped in pop culture. For decades, American football has symbolized a distinctly U.S. identity, competitive, commercial, and homegrown. Yet today, that same brand is being exported as a form of soft power, and music is its most persuasive ambassador. As the NFL prepares to stage its first-ever Spanish spectacle, global audiences are watching closely. What will the league gain? What does this mean for the globalization of U.S. sports? And why are two Latin superstars at the heart of it all? In this analysis, we unpack the strategy, the symbolism, and the stakes behind the NFL's Madrid debut and the Latin beats that will echo through the Santiago Bernabéu stadium. The NFL's international ambitions aren't new. The league first ventured abroad in the 1980s, organizing exhibition games in London, Frankfurt, and Tokyo. Those were trial runs, attempts to test whether American football could resonate beyond U.S. borders. But over time, as the NBA and Major League Baseball successfully cultivated overseas fanbases, the NFL realized it was leaving billions in potential revenue untouched. By 2016, London's Wembley Stadium had become almost a second home field. Munich and Frankfurt soon followed, each drawing sold-out crowds of more than 60,000. Yet the Madrid announcement is different. It's not simply another European stop, it's an intentional cultural bridge between North America, Latin America, and Europe. Spain offers a unique demographic advantage. It's the linguistic and cultural gateway to Latin America, home to more than 480 million Spanish speakers worldwide. By hosting a game there, the NFL isn't only courting Spanish fans, it's positioning itself to reach the global Hispanic audience, one of the fastest-growing and most digitally engaged demographics on Earth. From a business standpoint, the move aligns with the league's push for global markets program rights, which allow franchises to market directly in selected countries. The Washington Commanders, participants in the Madrid event, were among the teams granted rights in Spain, making this game a marketing goldmine. Analysts predict that television viewership across Latin America could surge by 20% compared with a standard U.S. broadcast. Politically, Madrid also offers stability and prestige. Spain's government has invested heavily in positioning itself as a global hub for sports tourism. Hosting the NFL not only boosts Spain's economy but also strengthens diplomatic ties with the United States. In recent years, both nations have increased cultural exchange initiatives, using entertainment and sports as the new currency of diplomacy. For the NFL, success in Madrid. If Daddy Yankee represents the roots of Latin influence, Bizarrap represents its digital evolution. At only 26 years old, Gonzalo Julian Condé, better known as Bizarrap, has built an empire from a bedroom studio in Buenos Aires. His BZRP music sessions on YouTube have amassed billions of views, featuring artists from every corner of the Spanish-speaking world. He's not a singer or a rapper in the traditional sense. He's a producer-curator, a generation-defining connector who transforms online collaborations into viral phenomena. His sound is electronic, sharp, and unmistakably modern, a soundtrack for the social media age. When the NFL invited Bizarrap to co-headline the Madrid halftime show, it was acknowledging a generational truth: the center of global pop culture has moved online, and the language of that culture is Spanish. Bizarrap's fans are young, tech-savvy, and globally distributed, exactly the audience the NFL needs if it wants to remain relevant beyond American borders. His participation also signals a turning point in how sports leagues view content. The halftime show isn't only a live performance, it's a digital event engineered for virality. Clips from Bizarrap's set will circulate on TikTok and Instagram within minutes, multiplying the league's visibility far beyond the stadium. For sponsors, that reach is more valuable than traditional broadcast ratings. From a geopolitical perspective, Bizarrap embodies the democratization of creativity. He doesn't rely on major labels or corporate gatekeepers. His rise mirrors the decentralized, participatory nature of modern media. That independence makes him a perfect partner for an NFL trying to appear youthful and adaptive. Economically, analysts estimate that cross-platform engagement driven by this show could generate tens of millions of dollars in brand value. Every hashtag, remix, or reaction video amplifies the NFL's presence in regions where it previously had little cultural footprint, from Argentina to Chile, from Spain to the Philippines. But beyond metrics, there's symbolism. The pairing of Bizarrap and Daddy Yankee represents two eras of Latin influence, the pioneer and the innovator, tradition meeting technology. It's a bridge between analog fandom and digital culture, between established legacy and Gen Z spontaneity. The decision also underscores how entertainment now functions as strategic communication. In an age where politics, economics, and culture are intertwined, the NFL's Madrid event is as much about diplomacy as it is about sports. The league is showing that American institutions can partner with Latin creativity not as a guest, but as an equal collaborator. Inside every major sports broadcast lies a simple truth: the halftime show is no longer just entertainment, it's prime global advertising real estate. Since the early 1990s, when the NFL first began booking pop megastars for the Super Bowl, halftime performances have evolved into miniature economies of their own. Sponsorship slots, digital rights, brand partnerships, and merchandising all orbit around those 12 to 15 minutes of spectacle. For the Madrid game, that formula is being globalized. According to league sources, corporate sponsors from both North America and Europe are treating the event as a live laboratory for cross-market branding. The NFL's international media division expects more than 150 million cumulative impressions across platforms in the first week alone, a figure that includes not only broadcast viewers but also short-form social clips, hashtags, and fan-generated content. Every frame of the halftime performance is designed with commercial precision. Lighting color palettes are aligned with brand partners' tones, stage architecture is engineered for maximum camera symmetry on both US and European feeds. Even the choreography is mapped to allow insertion of augmented reality logos during streaming replays. Beneath the lights and sponsorships lies a subtler narrative, one of American soft power. For decades, the United States has projected influence through military alliances and trade agreements. Today, culture is its most effective ambassador. Music, film, and sport serve as non-coercive tools that shape perception more powerfully than any policy paper. The NFL's Madrid initiative fits squarely within that framework. By staging a uniquely American game in Europe and centering it around Latin artists, the league is performing a diplomatic balancing act, celebrating diversity while reaffirming the U.S. as the convening hub of global popular culture. From Washington's perspective, this event complements official efforts to deepen transatlantic ties. Cultural exchange programs, joint film productions, and sports collaborations all reinforce the image of a modern America that listens and adapts. The NFL, though privately run, functions as a de facto cultural envoy, its logos and broadcasts recognized on every continent. The choice of Spain is geopolitically elegant. Historically a colonial power with enduring linguistic and cultural connections to Latin America, Spain serves as an intersection point of heritage and modernity. Hosting an American league featuring Latin performers in Madrid symbolizes a tricontinental dialogue, North America exporting sport, Latin America contributing rhythm, and Europe providing stage and audience. Soft power theorists note that this type of event creates what they call mutual prestige transfer. The NFL gains cosmopolitan legitimacy, while participating nations gain proximity to a globally admired brand. Everyone involved leaves with enhanced visibility. In practical terms, U.S. embassies in Europe often leverage such spectacles to promote educational and tourism campaigns. A sold-out NFL game in Madrid generates not only revenue but also goodwill, a tangible reminder that American culture can be collaborative rather than dominating. Of course, soft power cuts both ways. Latin music's global rise also influences American identity. The rhythms, language, and aesthetics that once existed at the cultural periphery are now shaping mainstream entertainment inside the U.S. stadiums themselves. The NFL's decision to spotlight Latin performers is therefore not charity, it's adaptation to demographic reality. Ultimately, the Madrid event demonstrates how cultural diplomacy now operates through private enterprise. Where governments once organized official cultural tours, today multinational brands and sports leagues do the work organically, guided by audience data instead of policy memos. The result is influence measured not in treaties, but in streams, followers, and headlines. At the heart of the NFL's Madrid expansion lies a complex economic equation, one that mixes cultural ambition with commercial pragmatism. American football, while a multi-billion-dollar domestic industry, remains a niche sport abroad. Yet, for the league's leadership, globalization is not optional, it's survival. With U.S. viewership growth flattening, the international market represents the next great frontier. The Madrid game is not just a spectacle, it's a strategic investment prototype. According to internal league documents reviewed by multiple media outlets, the NFL's international department has allocated roughly $120 million for logistics, promotion, and partnership development tied to its European initiative. Madrid is being treated as a proof-of-concept city, a testing ground for future permanent franchises outside the United States. If the formula succeeds, combining sport, music, and multicultural branding, analysts expect similar events to appear in Paris, São Paulo, and Tokyo within the next 5 years. It's the globalization of an American product, but redesigned to feel shared rather than exported. The financial mechanics are intricate. Ticket prices for the Madrid game averaged between €120 and €650, selling out in under 2 hours. Local tourism boards estimate an economic boost exceeding €50 million from hospitality, transport, and merchandising. Hotels across the Spanish capital reached near 95% occupancy in the days surrounding the event. But the bigger money lies in broadcast rights and digital advertising. Streaming platforms have paid premium rates for international simulcasts, betting that Latin America and Southern Europe, regions with rapidly growing middle-class demographics, will deliver strong ad engagement. NFL executives are reportedly negotiating multilingual commentary partnerships to capture Spanish and Portuguese-speaking audiences in real time. Sponsorships, too, are evolving. Coca-Cola, Adidas, and Meta all invested in integrated marketing campaigns that stretch from stadium activations to interactive AR filters online. Each brand is banking on the cultural halo effect, the idea that association with high-profile global events enhances their own reputational capital. Economists describe this as cultural monetization, a newer model of profit generation in which entertainment, identity, and consumerism blend seamlessly. The Madrid event embodies that model perfectly, an American sport monetized through Latin music and European staging. Critics, however, caution that such heavy commercialization could risk alienating traditional fans who value the purity of the game. Yet, for the NFL, diversification isn't optional. Demographic data shows that Gen Z audiences, the league's future, consume sport less as a game and more as a social media experience.